After a month-long strike, the United Auto Workers and General Motors have reached a tentative contract agreement that could end the standstill at the U.S. automakers' factories. This is according to the AP. We're still learning about the deal. But in the meantime, E-Dub took hits from all sides of the stage in last night's debates. But Bernie emerged with some good news. And while we're all watching the debates, things were happening on the impeachment front. I'm Jamal Simmons. Here's why you should care. Did you watch the debate last night? What'd you think? A few things jumped out to me. First, let's talk about Elizabeth Warren. Warren has clearly become the front runner in the race. The Real Clear Politics average still has her 6 points behind former Vice President Joe Biden in the national race. But in the early states of Iowa and New Hampshire, the Massachusetts senator is ahead of Biden by about 3 points in both states. She's also got the most expansive organization, according to a chart by 538.com. Warren took shots from just about everybody on her support for Medicare for All and how she would pay for it. The senator was incredibly disciplined, though. She stuck to her talking points, but she repeated her answer about keeping overall costs down so much that it was hard to miss the gaping hole that was left behind. The reality is, taxes might go up for middle-class families in a Warren plan. Mayor Pete Buttigieg had a good night, too. I was especially impressed by his deep dive on foreign policy, American leadership, and honor. Buttigieg is obviously troubled by President Trump pulling troops out of Syria with little notice, abandoning our Kurdish allies, and opening the way for Turkey to invade. The other person who stood out was the least practiced politician on the stage. Entrepreneur Andrew Yang got into a back and forth over the role of automation in hollowing out the American middle class. And that's clearly among one of the most important issues these politicians ought to be discussing. Senator Warren blamed trade, but Yang points out that automation, robots, artificial intelligence, software, they're the threat to today's middle-class workers. Now, why should you care? One of the people on that stage last night will be the nominee of a major political party, the Democrats, to be president of the United States. If you care about our future, there are few other things in politics more important than a debate among these candidates. Bernie Sanders had a good day yesterday. Not only did he come out swinging with a strong debate performance, and we knew he raised the most campaign cash out of all the Democratic field, but now we know he also has the most cash on hand. Sanders also let it out that he's receiving endorsements from 3 rising stars of the party's progressive wing. First, let's talk money. According to campaign finance reports, Sanders had a total $33 million in cash on hand at the end of Q3. Elizabeth Warren has the second largest kitty. She's got $25.7 million. Mayor Pete, $23.4 million. Kamala Harris, she's got $10 million. And former Vice President Joe Biden, he's got $9 million. 9. Anyway, while candidates like Biden and Buttigieg relied heavily on large donors for their contributions, Sanders and Warren swore off the big dollars. And small dollar donors responded. Their donations were made up of about 60% small donors. Then last night, word got out that Bernie Sanders won the endorsements of 3 key progressives in the party. The Sanders campaign confirmed New York House freshman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez will endorse the Vermont senator at a rally in Queens on Saturday. 2 other members of the so-called squad announced their support for Bernie, too. Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar and Michigan Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib. Now, why you should care? Elizabeth Warren has been the one to watch since gaining in the polls and in momentum. But this recent news for Bernie might be the boost he needs to reinvigorate his campaign after his health scare. Let's just have one note here, though. Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley, the 4th member of the squad, she hasn't endorsed Sanders. But remember, she's from Boston, and she might have a hometown favorite who's also running for president. 3 weeks after announcing the House would move forward with an impeachment inquiry, Speaker Nancy Pelosi took to the spotlight Tuesday night when she said she would not hold an impeachment authorization vote, at least not just yet.
We're not here to call bluffs. We're here to find the truth, to uphold the Constitution of the United States. This is not a game for us. This is deadly serious. And we're on a path that is taking us to a path to truth and a timetable that respects our Constitution.
Pelosi gave no indication when she might bring this back up for a vote. Meanwhile, the president's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, a cornerstone figure in the Ukrainian whistleblower unraveling, he decided to give his lawyer the boot. Giuliani retained John Sale to respond to a congressional subpoena request. In a letter Sale wrote to Congress, he let him know Giuliani isn't complying. House committees asked Giuliani to give up documents voluntarily, but when he refused, they filed a subpoena. Who knows what will happen next, but federal investigators are breathing down Giuliani's neck. If you remember, they did indict 2 of his associates embroiled in his Ukrainian dealings. But the outspoken attorney seems to think he's the best man to get himself out of the mess. It seems former Watergate counsel John Sale is no longer repping the man once known as America's mayor. Why you should care? Seems like we can't turn our heads for a few minutes without more developments unfolding with the impeachment story. The investigation is heating up. Shoes drop every day. Today it seems the president won't be convicted by the Senate, but this story is moving so fast, there's no telling where it might end up. Thanks for watching Hill TV on YouTube. Be sure to click subscribe and hit the bell so you know when we post new videos, and head to thehill.com for all the latest political news.